Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will be exploring task groups in Azure DevOps, which is yet another powerful feature of Azure DevOps that helps users to streamline and reuse tasks across multiple pipelines. So it helps you whether you are working on repetitive tasks or want to enforce consistency across different pipelines. So task group will save you a lot of times instead of trying to repeat a different kind of task on or similar task on different pipelines. So task group is similar to templates in a YAML configuration, though it can only be used if you are building your pipeline using Azure DevOps Classic template. For now, there is no use case, it's not supported using YAML configuration. So in if you are using a YAML configuration, uh, the best approach is to write template files, so which you can call that template on subsequent pipeline deployments you want to do. But if you are using a classic template, so task group is the best approach to create a task group that will help you to implement tasks that you repeat quite often across different pipelines. So, what are task groups? So, in this episode, so it, task groups in Azure DevOps let you to build a series of tasks or pipelines into a reusable unit. So if you want to reuse all those tasks that you uh, frequently repeat across board, then using a task unit is a good approach or best approach to that. So you can think of them as a template, as I rightly said before, for frequently used tasks, or instead of creating the same sequence of tasks over and over, you can create a task group once and then reuse it across your DevOps environment or your DevOps pipeline. So in this tutorial video, then I'll give you a walkthrough on setting up a deployment pipeline using a Node.js, a sample Node.js application. On subsequent videos, on the previous videos that we've done, so I basically use YAML configuration, which is my major area of expertise, or the best way that you can customize your environment to suit your scenario. However, for beginners, classic template is a good way to start. So on this episode, I'll be showing you how to deploy a sample Node.js application, create a classic template for a deployment, and then convert those tasks into a reusable task group. So let's dive in. So on your DevOps organization, you select a DevOps group, and then on the pipeline, you create a new pipeline. So here I'm going to create a new pipeline, and then instead of selecting any of the Azure DevOps repo, Bitbucket or GitHub to pick my YAML configuration, I'll be using a classic editor. So within this classic editor, I'll select the location of my file, my application file, which is on Azure repo. If it is on GitHub, you can select that as well, or any other preferred repository management system. Then this is the project where the repository is, the name of the repository and the branch. Then we continue. Then on this interface, we are not going to use any template. We are going to use an empty template and select our desired task. So if you select an empty template, the first interface is to just name your pipeline. So on this, I'll say task groups, demo task groups, demo task groups. And then I'll leave the rest as it is. On the agent job, you click the plus sign to select the jobs that you need or the tasks that you need to use to build this Node.js app. So here I'll do npm because it's a Node.js npm install. I'll add this task. I'll add it a second time. The second one I'll modify. I'll do it npm tests. I'll select a custom and then do npm or just you select the file where your package.json reside. So this is the Node.js application I'm building on the src on the source. Then I'll click OK. And then the command argument I'll be running is just test. And then the next job I'm going to add is to publish the artifact. Then on this I'll select publish build artifact. I'll add this. Yeah, there will be no modifications to be made here. So we'll test the pipeline and see everything is fine. Then before we proceed to merging them to a single task group to be reusable on subsequent pipelines. Yeah, save and run. Then we'll just give it a few minutes or seconds for the pipeline to run, and then we'll come back to the pipeline to demo how to create or merge those jobs to a single group. The pipeline is fine. So the next thing to do is to go back to the pipeline, select edit pipeline, and then on the tasks you have to highlight all the tasks. After highlighting them, you right click on it and create task group. Give a name of the task group, then Node.js, Node.js task group. Then you can select any of the categories here for the purpose of this. Then we are using test. We create a task group. So it will compress all the tasks into one. So the purpose of this is, let's save. Rotate task group. Can give it any comment you want. Then the purpose of this is to compress all those tasks so that when you are running subsequent pipelines, you can just pick a single task and it will put all the embedded tasks in it instead of selecting them one after the other and changing multiple configurations in each of them. This will ensure consistency among the tasks that you are running. So let's go back to the pipeline and then create another pipeline with this. We're going to use a class template, the same parameters, and we'll use empty. So on this we say task group, we can name it task group 2, and then to add the task here, instead of initially we did npm and we did 2 npm and they publish. So but now we will just have to select the task group, Node.js. You can see that here, Node.js task group. We add it. Once this is done, there will be no need to select any other task for the purpose of this, because this has 3 tasks embedded in it. So we'll just do a save and queue and it will run. So you just give it a few minutes and the pipeline will pick up. Good. So as you can see, the three tasks that are embedded, the npm install, the npm task, and publish build artifacts are already embedded here. And you confirm that it will still run because all the configurations are intact and they are consistent. So we'll just give it a few minutes and the pipeline will finish. The second pipeline. You can see the second pipeline was successful. So if we check this, we see that we have two pipelines. These two have the same task in them. So instead of repeating the task, you can use one that you have created and replicate that across multiple pipelines. So if we have up to 10 pipelines or so that will use the same task or repeat the same task, instead of creating them differently, then you can just select the task group and then it will make the pipeline seamless. Then use case for this is when you have a repetitive task, and when not to use this is one-time task, when you just want to run a single pipeline and then after that you don't need that again, so that we don't need to use a task group. Another uh, scenario where it's not advised to use task group is when you have a very complex environment. So if we overuse task groups and your environment, and the environment is very complex, it might make debugging and maintenance of the code base or the pipeline harder. So it depends on the use case before you implement different scenarios. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below, and then let us know any other topic or feature on Azure DevOps board that you would like us to treat on our subsequent video. See you on the next video. Thank you.